in poverty, and that's in a country.
Now let's go live to Hong Kong. Mr. Justice Barnabas Fung, the chairman of the Electoral Affairs Commission, is meeting the press.
各位你哋好，截至下晝4點半呢，全港係共有超過215萬名已登記選民投咗票嘅，累積投票率係大約52.14%。喺2015年嘅區議會選舉呢，同一時間嘅累積投票率呢係27.37%。
It's even higher than the turnout in 2014. Among 18 districts, the highest turnout districts include Kwun Wan District, over 50.38%, Kowloon, 42%, Salong, 54%, and now we're going to read out the latest turnout.
今日我同兩位選管會委員，即係陸怡信資深大律師同埋張榮清教授，
Today I talked to two senior lawyers,
投票站
and we visited two different polling stations
係個安排都係非常暢順嘅。
where the voting has been very smoothly.
就仲有4個幾鐘頭，所以呢我就呼籲選民
And there's still 4 more hours until the polling close. So encourage all electors to continue to vote. And please wait patiently for our officials to serve you. Anyone who arrive at the polling station needs to wait in line to cast their votes. For people who have special needs, you can enter first and wait for your turn to get your vote cast, vote card. So because we will not allow anyone to cut the line, but you can wait inside. So one more time I want to emphasize that before the polling closes, those who are waiting in line will be allowed to vote. Everyone will be allowed to enter and cast their vote. And the counting of every station's will only initiate after the closing of votes. So I encourage everyone to cast your vote early. Do not wait until the last. Besides, except for the Kowloon polling station, the vote will end late. Their time will be extended by 3 minutes. The other stations will end before 12:30 tonight. So before 3 p.m. today, we have received more than 3,500 complaints regarding the voting. First, it's all about the arrangement of the voting. Second is about the advertisement. And we will deal with the complaints as soon as possible. So that's all I have to say. So how are the officials at the voting station be advised to deal with the complaints at the voting station? And do we need to worry about the counting of the votes? If anyone wants to harass the electors or stop someone from voting, this is actually a violation of the law. and very severe. So with sufficient evidence, then the person will be prosecuted. On the day, if there's no enforcement of such a law, then after the voting, if there's any other complaints, or the electors, if they see any unfair incidents in their constitution, they can file a complaint. If the court allows this building of the case, then the case will be accepted and dealt with accordingly. So if there's any illegal acts at the polling station, the court has the right to cancel the result at the polling station. And this year we have a much higher turnout. This year we have 4.3 million people registered compared to the 3.6 million in 2015. So we have actually 430,000 people more voting this year. So at 4:30 p.m. more than 1.25 million people has casted their votes. And so last year, the total number of the people who cast the votes about 1.46 million and 7,000. So we can see that this year we have more people voting. So I think it's reasonable to actually extend the voting time this year. And during the counting of the votes, it will be more smooth. And so please do not interfere with the work of the counting of votes. If you have any complaints, you can wait until the next day. But on site, if you interfere with official, you're actually interrupting the counting. So if you have any complaints, please note it down and respect the due procedure.
Long lines persist into this evening. Will the polling stations remain open after 10:30? We know there's a record turnout today. There's also a record number of complaints that you've been receiving this time around.
Yes. Apart from 2 polling stations, where the opening was delayed for 3 minutes, as to which we will give 3 minutes more to the polling time, all the other polling stations will close at 10:30. But the rule has always been that if the voter has arrived at the polling station before the closing of poll and he or she has been queuing up, then he has right to cast his or her vote before the count will start. So everyone who has reached the polling station before the close of poll, that is in the main 10:30, then they has a right to cast the vote, and then the poll will actually close as and when the last person entitled to vote has completed the voting. There has been more complaint this year. I think this may be due to the present circumstances in Hong Kong, as well as today, I think there has been some complaint as to queuing up. But you see that I think in the morning, the polling staff have handled 3 times the normal numbers as in the past. So if there were some complaints, that we would not say that is extraordinary, but we say in the main that the polling has been orderly, and I do thank voters for the patience in waiting for the turn.
Today's a voter complained that their identity has been stolen and registered by others. So how would you deal with this issue? And they also complained that about the polling staff,
我哋投票嗰
they have to actually wait in line again for the
攞
cancellation of
咗
their
一張選
card.
票咧，就喺嗰個嗰個 check 翻佢嗰個
When you
身份證
claimed
嗰
a
個
card
選民嗰個身份證同埋名嗰度咧，就畫條線代表佢咧
with
係
your
已經
ID
領咗
number,
選票，咁佢就唔可以攞第二次。
then you cannot
咁
claim
你頭先
and
講嗰啲
collect
情況
a
咧，
voting
即係
card
有人爭議
again.
話係佢俾人
And now
畫
some
咗
complain
或
that
者有人冇畫到咧。
some
咁呢啲咧
other people have
尤其是
claimed
佢俾
their
人點解
card.
畫咗嗰啲咧，我哋要轉介執法機關去睇翻
So about this
係咩
issue,
情
I
況
have
之下發
to
生咧，佢要見過
ask
晒
the
所有人嘅。
enforcement
咁所以
authority
咧
about
一定
what
係要調
happened.
查嘅。
And we
不過
have
咧，
to
以往都有
conduct
咁嘅
investigation, but
投
this
訴，咁就一
has
定要調
happened
查。
in the
咁
past.
但係呢個就係佔全港而家你投咗210萬票咧，咁我諗
Right
即係
now,
非常少。
more than
唔係話我哋覺得
2.2
今日
million
可以
people have cast their
容
vote.
許
So this is
但係咧
actually
即係
individual
話
cases.
我想請大家放心
It's
咧
very
就係
rare, so
總之嚟講
rest assured
冇影響到我哋今日投票，但係實際
this
係咩
has
情
not
況咧
really
要查咗先
impacted
知嘅。
the voting today, but for what really happened, we have to investigate. I want to know in the future, how would you improve the voting process? And how
我想
many
答咗
cases
先
has
咧
happened?
喺我哋個選舉嘅制度裏頭咧，
So in
因
our
為
voting
佢
system,
要保障投票
So
嘅
first,
保密性咧，
we have
所以
to
所有嘢除咗畫咗
protect
線之後咧，
the
係冇
privacy of the
其他記錄
voters.
唔會追得翻係邊個㗎啦。
So
係
we
因
will
為
not
我哋
track
要
down the names.
第一位保障投票
Because
保密咧，
First and
所以成個
foremost,
制
we
度
have
嘅
to
設計
protect
咧
the privacy
就係唔
of the
可以追
voters.
得翻係邊個人嘅。
So we will
咁
not
呢個係
really
個別嘅
track
人
down
士咧
all the
佢
names
係
who have
會冇
this
咗個投票
complaint.
權，但係保
So
障翻成個制度裏頭咧
although this
冇
will
人可以
compromise some
知道邊個
people's
投咗票
voting
所以
rights,
呢個係一個
but
一個代
this
價嚟嘅。
guarantee the
咁所以你
majority
話
people's
將來
rights.
咁除非我哋香
In
港
the
第日
future,
唔用投票保密制，如果唔係
Unless we do
喺當
not
時
respect the
當刻咧
privacy
係
of
一
voters
定唔
anymore,
會追
then
得
at
翻
the
嘅。
moment
咁
we
當
will
然你
not
話
write
之
down
後
the names of the
執法機
voters.
關去調查，咁
So
佢會攞口
later
供啊
on,
問翻前邊、後
enforcement
邊、左邊、
authority
右邊嗰啲
will
咧，佢可能會砌得翻嗰個圖
ask
畫出嚟。
around
咁但係嗰個只係
and
之後㗎啦，
check
嗰個
with
係
the
唔會影響嗰
witness
個
about the
票都係唔
the
生效。
identity
但係
of those who
大家要知道
complained.
你有一樣
So maybe
嘅好處
they
咧，
can
可能
find
係會
out
帶來另外一樣
those
咧係冇
individuals
咁理想嘅嘢
who
係呢個
didn't
代
be
價
able to vote. So this is a price that we have to pay.
印章嘅模擬選票啦，咁你認為呢一啲行為咧，會唔會都係干犯咗選舉嘅條例？
I want to know this
如
kind
果
of
拉票嘅
behavior,
活
whether
動咧，
those
佢係
campaign
唔涉及
actually in
將嗰啲選
violation
票
of the
攞咗出嚟話咩
ordinance.
情況，咁就唔會有問題啦，即係佢都唔拉票啫。但係如果佢
So
係話
for
有人
normal
攞咗啲選票出嚟
campaign,
俾人睇啊、影咗相啊，呢個咧就唔
this is
得嘅。呢個
allowed.
因為
But
我哋
if you
咧就
actually
係話
show
投
other
票保密
people
咧，係
your
包括咧你唔
your
可以喺
card,
票站裏頭
then
影
this
任
is
何嘅嘢。
in violation, because
影人、
inside the station you
影
cannot
視、
take photos of
影選票
anything
都係唔得
of the
嘅。
card
咁
of
所
the
以你講嘅
people.
情況咧，亦都要
So
詳細
what
睇
you
翻係乜
mentioned
嘢嘅情況，因為
really
嗱，譬如你
depends
講我哋
on
香
the
港嘅制
context.
度咧，一定係有
Because the
調
current
查、有答
regime
辯、
in Hong Kong
有判決。
Actually
我對唔住，我唔可以喺度口講口判。
requires further investigation to give you an answer.
There's like high turnout. Do you have like an estimation about like because of the number of staff that is like deployed to cope with this election? Do you have like an estimation about like how will the vote counting like take time or like this with the high turnout? And also regarding the complaints, what kind of like complaints actually account for the largest kind of complaints? Just now you mentioned about the queuing because I think this year's the queuing is particularly long. So can you pinpoint some of the issues here? Thank you.
Up to 4:30 today, about 2,154,000 voters have voted. As compared with 2015, the entire day's voter turnout was 1.46 million. So far, more people has voted. And then it is only reasonably expect that counting will take more time. So I ask everyone to be patient to wait for the result. As to the complaints, I did mention that the single most numerous item is polling arrangement. That is a lot of them, did relate to queuing up. But you have to understand situations that in the morning, we have almost 3 times the turnout as compared to 2015. If you have that background in mind, the number of complaints, I think, would not be viewed as unreasonable or extraordinary, given that, so many have turned out in the morning. But anyway, I think queuing is a good tradition in Hong Kong. I mean, we queue up for all sorts of services. And in the main, feedback to me is people did say that, why do I have to queue up for such a long time? But I think everyone has been patient and accommodating, and I do thank voters for that. All right, thank you.
The biggest reason said that there are more complaints. Some is because of the campaign. Some is complaints about people cutting the line. So it's very natural. Well, however, for some, those advertisement and campaign events actually are dealt with in time. Or some people will actually give up after being given a warning. Because we actually have a shortage of staff.
That's Mr. Justice Barnabas Fung. He's the chairman of the Electoral Affairs Commission. He basically outlined the turnout of the district councillors' election. This time he said is higher than 2015. More than 2 million Hong Kongers have cast their votes. And also he answered some questions on how the voting proceeded. Now we're joined in the studio by Li Huan, associate researcher from the Institute of Contemporary International Relations, and Edmund Lehman, managing director of Lehman, Lee & Chu. Let me start with you, Li Huan. Mr. Justice Fung answered a lot of questions on whether the election is free and fair or not, because there are more than 2,000 complaints about somebody using a fake identity or there was some inappropriate campaigning. But out of 2 million voters, 2,000 complaints, it is safe to say this election is not rigged.
Yeah. We can see before the election, many people in Hong Kong, especially some candidates, were worried because of the violence. But so far, we can see, though there are some complaints, the election is peaceful, fair, and justice. So I think, of course, the committee and the police do a lot for the election. We'll know the result tomorrow morning. I hope after the election, all the people in Hong Kong, all the parties, value Hong Kong and value their homeland.
And Edward?
Yeah, well, I think like Tip O'Neill, who was under Ronald Reagan, he said all politics is local. So the district council election here is all local. It's a nice framework to be able to put together, because there are people from the district council who actually go on to the legislative council and are part of legislative council. And so I think this is a good earmark on hopefully the pathway forward for the future. And remember, I want to remind our viewers that there was no voting under British colonial rule. There was no freedom of speech under British colonial rule. This is a really huge step in the right way forward.
As you said, this election is local, but probably it's too local, because district councillors, they don't make big decisions about the city's affairs, and they don't actually elect the city's chief executive, but they carry some weight, 10% of the seats of the election committee. Why people care so much about district councilors' election?
Well, I mean, it's like any place, like back in Chicago where I'm from. I mean, those are the people who take care of your streets. Those are the people who throw out your garbage. They're the people who do fire and that type of thing. But they're also an indicator about which direction the city's going to go to, the SAR is going to go to in general. And so I think this is going to be sort of a referendum as well. One thing that I think think is positive. Elections, it's open until 12:30 tonight. We heard him say today. That's tremendous. I mean, that there are just that number of violations. It doesn't appear that people are being afraid of coming to the polls, and I think that's what the protest. At least that has not affected people from coming out to the polls, and so that I think is good.
And Li Huan, as Edward just said, we'll probably decide the direction of Hong Kong's politics down the road because we have legislators election next year. We don't know the result yet, but how much it will affect the political transactions that is going to take place in Hong Kong.
Yeah, we all know that district council members, there are six of them will be the legislative council members, and there are also 117 members will be the chief executive committee. So it will affect the elections later.
All right. Thank you very much, Li Huan.
thank
Thank you, Edward.
Good to be here.
So how much do you know about